Yeah.
Until my leg. And then I'll be blocked in. Back it up a little bit, pull it upside down, so here it is.
Back it up.
Well, just back up. When he flips around and pull out, pull back in his spot. Thomas will be blocked in. You don't know where that at.
You don't want that at.
I know how you do.
Well, help her out. I think she's wanting you to help her.
What you do? Y'all can't fix before you leave?
You'll have to
No, he ain't
later.
making me second. He said, can you give me United did gonna take me down there to get some cigarettes. I thought about it real quick. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I should have been with you. That out there? That probably worked out better. Okay, I tell you, I told him last night. I said, I talked to these fellas. I said, if they want to kick your ass, they gonna kick your ass. I said, I ain't got nothing to do with it. And I asked him last night, just out of curiosity, I said, you know,
Do you like that
I said, if you went and got money in any way, shape, or form.
Now he put design, big design.
No, I have not. I said, now, this ain't like the other night, because I didn't ask specifically the right question. What, John?
Wait a minute.
Oh, sit down right here.
Did you find it? You went shopping with mama?
No, I already had it.
Oh, that's my room? And go to that door. And baby, I'll see you there. That is what I can look at. That could be. That can blow away.
That's what it is.
Come on. Well, I can make it sit on the lap. They can take a picture all over.
What? No, we're going to get the boys and one girl first, and then we can move on from there.
I'm the tallest. I get
You
sitting
think
in
you
the
might
back.
be able to operate this?
They got no light.
Just hold it. It's recording already. And see with the button right there. See?
You the baby.
Yes, were you the smallest?
Come on, baby.
No, I'm not happy. I ain't small. He's the shortest.
Oh, leave them. Get Dennis.
There you go. Everybody say naked women.
Cheese.
Pepperoni is better.
Oh, no.
Didn't work?
I'm getting recorded on a video camera too.
Can you see us all?
Never quit.
What do you need to do?
Moving this over a little bit. Everybody wants coffee.
Some more? Yeah, you know, take 5.
I don't know. I know that light is blinding.
Like a star.
Hey, Dylan.
Hello.
Now I want to drink. 1, 2, 3, naked. Okay, my eyes can't help it. Now the youngest. Love you, Grandma. Happy birthday. I'm gonna go eat. We're gonna do it again. We got one more camera. I gotta thank that
Well, I was thinking too, then we could pull the family in. Ready?
I want to use his right hand. You know that's your right.
Let's get it started good first. Alright, this is definitely on your birthday. Alright, y'all be quiet now. Go ahead, Grandma, she's got a song for us.
The name of my little song is Honey. Honey, come home. My heart beats for you, pound, pound, pound. Can't you hear it? Not now, don't laugh now, wait till later. I love you, honey. Come home. I miss you. Stop. What's the more of my song? Help me, my things are going.
I don't know the song, Grandma.
Oh. honey. I'm lonesome. I miss you. Let me wait just a minute.
Okay.
Let's let it rest a bit. Maybe.
Me and Della have some more spending money. So he spotted me that money. I give it back to him, and I made me some more money. I can't remember, probably about $75. And he's like, no, keep going. I'm like, you know, I done paid you back, and I've got money. I'm gone. Me and Della went and had a good time. We started buying souvenirs, playing in slot machines, and we get low on funds.
Uncle Pat, I wasn't old enough. He wouldn't let me play on the floor. I could play the machine. But me and him, I was standing beside him with the sweet drinks.
And Uncle Pat would throw a $100 bill up there. But he seen me with blackjack in my hand. And I'm like, I don't understand it. He put a $100 bill up there, bump it, and they say 100 up, 100 down. And I'm like, you couldn't give me that. We lost so much money though. We got a free dinner and free motel.
I lost that much money.
I didn't.
It wasn't because he lost that much money. It's because he goes out there all the time. It's compliments of getting back. Yeah.
Let's be real.
They go to Uncle Pat.
I don't know exactly how much. And a meal for it, one meal. And me and Jenny, we ordered a chef salad. We sitting there waiting for it to come, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
That thing come, it was in a bowl this big, this deep, roll of, say, turkey and a roll of another kind of, it was like 4 different kinds of meat, I don't even know, but it was so good, like chicken, turkey, ham, roast beef, you know, and layers of cheese and eggs.
What are we talking about?
And I'm like, this is a salad, and we done ordered something to go with the meal. We thought it was gonna be like a side salad, chef side salad, with our meal. And I don't remember what I ate, but I remember I never seen a salad for one person this big. And, I mean, it was just full of goodies.
Patty, ribeyes, I know.
Well, it was free, so you know we got all we could get. Love it. I'm sitting there, and I was praying, oh God, forgive me for my sins and my trespasses. I was praying.
If you want to go a good bridge,
I don't.
we'll have to go in the county. The bridge comes out, you leave in the United States, it comes out, and it does just like a roller coaster. It goes like that. And it
I'd have to be
back up, it
sedated
goes
or
down,
something.
it comes back up. And we got stopped in a traffic jam right where it comes down and starts going back up, coming back. And the bridge was going like that.
Yeah, but when are we going to
And you could sit there in your truck, look out the window, you'd go like this, you couldn't see the water. When you come back, you can see the water.
Wow.
It's wire bridge.
You know,
With the things hanging on to it. Anyway, and it's got steel, you know, hold it steel and everything, but the steel beams, and then you've got steel wire hanging down. And then you go way up there, and then you over, what lake,
Is it lake or river?
or Mississippi River, right?
yeah, it's been Mississippi.
And, it was just endless, and everybody was just flying in
Let
that
me tell you
traffic.
though, the same
And
bridge
it
you're
just
talking
pulled
about,
my nerves up.
the same bridge you talking about, the last time I went across it, it didn't like about this much of the water coming up on the bridge.
Wow.
Oh, I couldn't handle that.
I would have loved it.
It was flooded, all the river
It
people.
tore my nerves up. I can't drive anything. And,
Whenever, if you do this interview thing and stuff that you're doing, make me a copy.
okay.
I gotta
I'm
go
ready to
take
get
that
the
bath.
interview.
It wasn't interfering while I go. All right, here we go back on our interview again. Some questions that we wrote down. Do you remember what your first job was? First paying job?
Stones.
That was your first paying job? And was it an hourly job? Did you get paid by the hour or production?
Yeah, if you didn't make it, you got paid by the hour.
What was the minimum wage back then?
65 cents.
What was your first job not like paying job, but like maybe as a young girl, the first thing that you received money for as a job for hire?
I didn't have no job like. Oh, I did. I had borders at one time.
Where was that at?
It was Hollywood, Florida.
And you had a house and you let them live in it, or in the?
No, it was on the dairy. The boys lived in the bunkhouse, but they had meals at my house.
Well, what about the time in the Depression that you were telling us about, where y'all would pick peaches? Did you pick peaches?
No, that's when my children got sick. And my little girl died in the Macon hospital with diarrhea, and my little boy, he had diarrhea too, because they had to eat peaches that hadn't been washed, and something had been sprayed on them in the orchard. I didn't know that they were eating them. Some neighbor gave them the peaches. But anyway, my sister-in-law was a nurse in St. Petersburg. She come up to Fort Valley, and we took the little boy to her home, and he lived 3 weeks. And then he passed away, and I carried him back up to Fort Valley, and he was buried in the cemetery there in Fort Valley.
Right, now I thought that when little Tommy got to Florida, he died the same day.
No, he lived three weeks.
At her house?
At her house,
But when y'all were picking the peaches,
we didn't go that far.
you didn't get, all right, okay, what I'm driving at is like, did you, even as a young girl or young mother, you didn't help in the orchards, or?
No.
So your husband, they did all that and you tended to the kids?
Can you stop that a minute?
Okay. All right. So really, the two jobs you had other than being a mother and a housewife was the boarders and working at Stone's Manufacturing Company. And what did you do at Stone's?
I don't know. I was on the machine, sewing machine.
And what did y'all sew?
Men's underwear.
And how many years did you work there?
23.
Do you remember what year you retired?
72.
72. As a child, what was your favorite candy?
Candy. We didn't have much candy back when I was a child. Daddy was working on the streetcars, and when the streetcars went on strike, we left and went to Florida. So I don't know, it was...
Do they have like penny candy or half a cent?
Yeah, they had penny candy.
Well, when you were little and you went to the store, what did you want so bad? What kind of candy in there that,
Well, the candy
as a young girl? Maybe Tristan's age.
Or a penny was liquid. You get more for your money.
Was that your favorite, or?
No, it wasn't my favorite. I like chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
So that was your favorite as a child.
Yeah.
Anything chocolate?
Yeah.
And how much would something chocolate cost as a child?
I don't know too much about the candy, but you get a cold drink for a nickel.
Another question. We've all written down questions, and someone wrote on here, who taught you to drive? Did your family or your dad, or did you teach yourself?
There was this boy that he was a lot older than me, but and he was a little bit retarded, but he had a car, and it was a long ways to the store. And the family would send us to the store for bread, loaf bread, so we could make sandwiches. And of course, that would be the only time that he called himself being my boyfriend. He would let me drive. And I remember one time he said, I might turn it around. And it was near a train track. And I didn't turn the wheel real short, and I run, instead of staying on the road, I went bump, bump, bump across the train track.
How old were you?
I was about 16.
Do you know how old he was? About how old he was?
Oh, he 25, I was.
What kind of car was it?
It was Ford.
Like a Model T or?
No, them other kind. Model A, I think.
Is that something with 4 doors?
No, it had 2 doors.
2 doors? All right. Here's another question somebody's got on here, and they're bringing it up a little closer in time here. They want to know where you were at when Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Well, really, I didn't like Martin Luther King because it seemed like everywhere he went for his talks and his marches, there would be riots, fighting between the whites and the blacks. But I don't know. I guess I was at home.
At home where? In Blythewood?
No, I was in Florida.
You were in Florida in the 60s?
Well, that's.
Martin Luther King.
I guess I was in Blythewood.
At your house in Blythewood, or?
No, I lived with my mom and dad.
Up to what year?
I can't remember what year my mom died. But soon after my mother died, I bought a piece of land from my sister,
Aunt Pearl?
Aunt Pearl. We bought 3 acres, and my oldest son wanted an acre and a half, and I take an acre and a half, and we made a deal that I would stay with him and help him get his house completed. Then he would help me on mine, and it worked out.
All right, let's see. Randy was born in 1965. So you were living there in 65, because I know Randy was born when we lived there in Blythewood. So Martin Luther King died in
68.
So that was the year I was born. So let's see, I know my mom and daddy were married in 1958.
That's right, Robert.
So Randy was born in 65. Did your mama die in 65? I have it written down at home, but...
I can't remember.
So anyway, either way, you were living...
Didn't you move in out there in like 63, Grandma?
He's got on the patio 60.
No, on the patio he's got when he and Mama were married, 1958.
He's got on that patio 60 also.
I don't know that. Either way though, you were living in Blythewood when Martin Luther King was assassinated. That was the question.
Yeah, well.
Maybe we could ask Daddy what year y'all actually bought the land. What year y'all actually bought the land? I think it's somewhere in 63, somewhere around in there. Because the house was completed when Randy was born. In the pictures, in 65, he was a baby and the house was completed. So if you say 2 years, 3 years to do that, I don't know. Okay, I know last night we asked you a little bit about the Great Depression, but for some reason it didn't make it all on tape. So I know I asked you what was the most horrific thing you had ever lived through, and you said the Great Depression, And you said too many beans. So the question that came back up when we were talking about making this list of questions was, we wanted to know, how did the Great Depression affect your life?
I was working at Stones, I think. No, we was in Florida during the Depression. I don't know why, it just...
Like, did y'all have to ration food and be
Oh,
careful?
yeah,
You had to
yeah.
ration food? And did you get ration stamps?
Yeah.
And so y'all were just real tight with everything. And what if somebody came to your house and they were a drifter and they were hungry? Would they have been fed, or would they have been sent on their merry little way?
Well, there was a lot of hitchhikers, because we lived right on the main highway.
And what was that? What main highway? What?
Indian Town, Florida. And most of the time they want something cold to drink. And if we had cold drinks, no, we didn't have refrigerators. We had refrigerators, but the iceman was ice every day. But if we had anything, tea or cold drinks, we would let them have it.
If they were hungry, would you have fed them?
Most of the time, Mom, we didn't have nothing left. She would cook just what she thought we would eat.
All right, so usually they just get something to drink and then they'd have to leave.
And they'd be on their way.
Did y'all ever have to hide food to keep anybody from stealing it?
Not where we lived.
All right, the first man on the moon. Do you remember when the first man landed on the moon?
Yeah, but I can't remember his name.
Was it Neil Armstrong?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember seeing that on TV, or?
I did, but I couldn't believe that it went out of the atmosphere. I thought he would landed in the desert.
Did you think it was just a hoax?
Yep.
What do you think now? Was it a hoax or was it real?
No, I had watched them blow up. I saw that one that blew up.
The Challenger in 1986?
Yeah.
The school teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that on TV.
So, you thought then it was a hoax?
No.
All right, this is a question I wanted to ask. Your daddy, Simon Peter Snelgrove, was he in the Civil War? Was he a soldier?
No.
All right. Why was that?
He wasn't old enough.
He wasn't old enough. Was any of the relatives in the Civil War that you know of?
No, but I know I had one uncle in World War I.
Who was that?
It was Mama's baby brother. Hugh Rogers is his son. You know who Hugh Rogers is?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his daddy's name.
Wilbur.
Wilbur Clifton.
No, I don't know what his middle name was.
Well, I got that written down. I can't remember either. Did your grandparents own slaves?
On the Oakley, yeah.
They had slaves?
Oh, no.
They never had any slaves? Did any of the family ever have slaves? Hendersons or Snelgroves that you know of?
I don't think so. But now there's a lot of Rogers that's black. So I don't, but as far as I'm hearing them talk about slaves, I think
They never owned
have.
them? Okay. O.J. Simpson. Was he innocent or guilty?
He was innocent
All right, why do you think he was innocent?
because at another time, O.J. come to the living room and his wife was having a love affair on the couch. And he said, I think you should carry something like this upstairs where the children won't be looking at what you're doing. And if he'd have been so bad and wanted to kill her, he'd have run over there and snatched the mountain on tail.
What about that? You were telling me one time about the dogs barking.
The dogs what?
The dogs were barking when the supposed.
That happened.
You told me one time that one of the reasons you knew that he was innocent was because something with the dogs. You remember that? Oh, okay. So you think he was innocent because if he wanted to kill her, he would have killed her then?
Yeah, I sure do. Now, I think he might have known something about it. Might have known. He might have been able to tell who did it or why it happened.
So you think he lied about that?
He just didn't say nothing.
All right. Where were you, or did you like? Let's start out with this. Did you like the Beatles?
I'm a country singer. I mean, listener. I don't think I like the music.
That was the question on the list. But you liked Elvis Presley.
Oh yeah.
And what about Elvis Presley did you like?
Them tear-jerking songs.
Was he a good-looking man?
Oh yeah.
What was good-looking about him?
His sideburns. And his beautiful eyes. Oh yeah, I like that hair too.
Here's another question for you. Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk about Elvis. What was your favorite Elvis song?
I don't know. I've still got lots of his records. I don't know. I don't know.
All of them.
Yes, all of them.
Who taught you to sew?
I don't know. It seemed like as far back as I can remember. I'd make them 2-inch stitches, but I've always loved to sew.
So you think maybe your mom taught you to sew as a little girl?
No, because I've seen Mom sewing, but she never had time. She had 7 young ones. She never had time to do
She had a lot of work.
Yeah, and she always had a garden. She always had a cow. She'd milk that cow. She would churn what milk we didn't use. She'd make buttermilk.
We're back again. Another one of the questions that got on here that grandkids are wanting to ask is your first airplane ride. Where were you? How old were you? Who was with you? They want the details of your first airplane ride. First time you flew in an airplane.
My middle son, Pat, carried me back to Miami to see my husband's grave. We took a plane from Columbia Airport and we stopped off at Disney World. We spent 1 week there. Then we got back on the plane and went on to Miami. We stayed in Miami, visiting places that he grew up and knew and wanted to see what changes were made, and we enjoyed it. We lived in the northwest section of Miami where the working people all lived. And then we took the plane back. But both places, he rented a car. We rode round and around to see everything.
There was a park that your kids used to go to, and they would roll down a hill.
Grinnell's Park.
Grinnell's?
Grinnell's Park in Ogis, Florida.
How do you spell Ogis?
O-J-U-S.
How far is that from where Granddaddy is buried?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 5 miles.
So that was probably about 15 years ago?